Afternoon once again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Niagara University. It is a great day here on the Monteagle Ridge campus, and it's wonderful to have a room full of our faculty, staff, administration, community partners, and leaders. It is a great time here at Niagara University, and it's only going to get better, and you're going to hear a little bit more about that today. We have had, here at Niagara University, we have been blessed this century. It's been a good century for us so far, as we're in 2018, because we've had two incredible leaders as president at the university. And it is my pleasure to introduce our president emeritus, former president, the Reverend Joseph L. Levesque, to lead us in our invocation this afternoon. Father?
A few remarks before the prayer. A happy feast day to all of you. Today, January 25th, 2018, all Vincentians, and of course, all Vincentian institutions, enter the 5th century of following the example of St. Vincent de Paul. This day is marked as the beginning of the Vincentian community and its mission of service to the poor, following the example of Jesus. So to all of you, happy Foundation Day. When we look back on the events of St. Vincent in France in 1617, this very day, he claims that we must be grateful for the gift of our being called to such a loving and demanding work as serving the poor. That is, those who need us most, materially, spiritually. And St. Vincent once said, "Let's not limit our vision to ourselves. Let us see the Lord around us and in us. The Lord is ready to put his hand to ours if we ask for his help. And then you will see that all will go well." That being said, as a preface, let us pray. Lord God, filled with compassion for all who walk through life with you, bless us as we listen to and discuss this special strategic plan presented to us today. We thank you, Lord, for a long history of blessings over the past 162 years of our foundation as a university. Today we beg your continued blessing on Niagara as we begin this 5th century of the charism of St. Vincent. Lord, we beg you, bless this plan. Give us the wisdom, the motivation, and the courage to hear it well and to carry it out to the best of our ability. As St. Vincent himself would say, we know that what is presented to us today is what must now be done by us. St. Vincent, be with us and guide us. May our loving God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit come upon you today and always. Amen.
And he mentioned today, January 25th, as a great day in the history of the Congregation of the Mission of the Vincentians, and it is a wonderful day. And when you think about strategic plans, they are forward-looking. So in 2015, on this day, Father Marr announced a $1 million gift that we received from the Vincentian community, which we use for international and domestic scholarships. On 2016, we announced the foundation of the Brennan Center on January 25th, which assists international students as they come to the university. Last year on this day, January 25th, we announced the new Impact, which is our service model run by Patty Roble. So as long as we're forward-thinking, and you have your calendars here, put January 25th, 2019 on your calendar, because I'm sure we'll announce something great here at the university, because it is a great day. As I said, we've been blessed with a couple leaders, a couple great leaders. It's been a good century, and it's my pleasure to introduce the 26th president of Niagara University, the Reverend James J. Marr, CM. Father? Thank you, Tom, and thank you all for being here today on this wonderful day. As Father Levesque mentioned so well and in his prayer, this is a special day for us Vincentians. It's a day in which we remember and celebrate the foundation of what we call the Congregation of the Mission and what all of us call the Vincentian Fathers and Brothers. One of the biographers of St. Vincent de Paul writes about his great zeal in the foundation of the congregation. The biographer Peugeot writes this about St. Vincent. From the beginning of the apostolate, Vincent de Paul was a man of action, an organizer, a leader, a visionary, and a manager. He did not throw himself into a venture in a haphazard fashion. Rather, he decided upon a program, he defined a method, and he made sure of acquiring the wherewithal for the project. That's a pretty good description of St. Vincent de Paul as a man of faith, of action, and of planning. But it wasn't easy for St. Vincent. He was 44 years old when the Congregation of the Mission was formed. Many people in France at that time, that's pretty close to exceeding their life expectancy. He lived another 34 years to see the full flourishing of the Congregation of the Mission, the Ladies of Charity, the Daughters of Charity, the Confraternity of Charity, foreign missions, and a whole host of social welfare institutions in and beyond Paris and France that served children, indigent poor, the hungry, the homeless, those seeking education, and seniors. Many of those institutions grew and expanded in and through and beyond St. Vincent's life. But he had to overcome obstacles in the formation and the foundation of the Vincentian community. He was strongly opposed by Cardinal de Bérulle in Paris, someone who had been a spiritual guide and a mentor, but saw the establishment of what we call the Vincentians as competition to the Oratorians. And he strongly opposed St. Vincent with the full force of his office. St. Vincent was opposed by the local clergy of Paris in his day, who saw the establishment of the Vincentian community as a threat and didn't understand it. He had to overcome the twists and the turns of the bureaucracy of the Catholic Church. Yes, you might be surprised. The Catholic Church has some bureaucracy. And so at 44 years old, in 1631, after many twists and turns, Pope Urban VIII granted the establishment and approved the foundation of the Vincentian community. To St. Vincent's credit, that is a testimony to his faith, persistence, resiliency.
As we gather today to launch our strategic plan, What Must Be Done, those eternal Vincentian elements are part of our plan. They are the spirit that fuels our plan. Faith in each other and beyond ourselves. Persistence to overcome all the obstacles that will come our way. Resiliency to overcome odds and challenges, those seen and those unforeseen. And a plan that is at its core mission-driven and focused on excellence and outcomes. That is, for me, what is most exciting about that plan, because that same spirit that fueled St. Vincent de Paul is at the heart of our efforts. And this is what must be done. Thank you very much.
So that's the overview of the strategic plan. You all have a copy in front of you, so take that, study that. Many of you have been involved in, of course, the planning of it. A couple people I want to recognize, of course, members of the UPC. Our current co-chair of the UPC, Jamie Carr, who was first up in the video, actually. Dr. Jamie Carr is in the back here, so thanks for being with us, Jamie. And other members of the UPC, the University Planning Council. How about a round of applause for them and helping put this together? And one other note, I do want to, before we get too far into the program, we have a number of speakers with us today that are partners with us. But you've heard from Father Levesque, of course, and Father Marr, and today's the date, and using the St. Vincent credo, if you will, of what must be done. Our community is guided every day by the Vincentian community, the members of the Congregation of the Mission. With the members of the Congregation of the Mission, and unlike a lot of Catholic colleges and universities now, we have a great presence, and a number of them here today. Would you please stand, the fathers and brother here who guide us each day. And that's not all of them, just so you know. Thank you for your service to the university and to all of us every single day. As I mentioned, you don't become a university like this with a 97% job placement rate or a tight faculty-student ratio and engaging experiences all by yourself. You have a number of community partners and community leaders that come with us and guide us along the way as well. One of the people today I'm going to ask to speak is an alum. He's a member of our Board of Advisors, and he's a parent of graduates of Niagara University. Ladies and gentlemen, Rocco Cerez. Rocco?
Thank you, Tom. I got 2 minutes, huh? I got 40 years. I got 2 minutes.
Take three.
Take three, okay. This is impressive. I told Father Marr when I walked in, if I didn't know better, I would have thought Cal Murphy, Frank Lane, and Hubie Brown were in town. This is a fantastic turnout. Good tribute to you, Father. Great job. So, I'm going to start with making a statement. I love Niagara University, and I hope to tell you why over my remaining 2 minutes and 30 seconds. For me, I thought about what I wanted to say today, and it's really about destiny. I found out recently from Father Dunphy, he's a priest friend of mine, I live in Lockport, New York, who relayed a story to me. I went to DeSales Catholic High School in Lockport, and one of the things I didn't know about St. Vincent was when he formed, or whatever was part of the Daughters of Charity, there was no such thing as an order of women in the Catholic Church. It was forbidden. And he tried and was turned down in Rome, or wherever the bureaucracy was located. And St. Francis de Sales got together with St. Vincent and said, no, you can do this. And together they worked a plan somehow to go back to Rome. And the Daughters of Charity were the first women acknowledged by the Catholic Church of that mission. How about that, right? So that's in my background, not knowing I'm ever coming to Niagara University. Then, because of family background, I'm going to be an accountant. And Niagara University had a great accounting program. And I come here. Now, what you need to know about me is I'm first generation of Italian immigrant parents. I figure I'm coming to school to become an accountant. I think I'm coming to a trade school. And I didn't know what it meant to go to college. I had the beer drinking part down pat. I got that went along real well. Orientation was fantastic. The March to the Falls, all that. It was great. But then this wasn't high school, so I had tough. So I tell you that to tell you this was, and it continues today from my close involvement in the school, the professors here do not give up on you. If I tell any student who wants to come here, if you fail here, it's because you didn't do it. You'll never be turned down by a professor. They will guide you to whatever goal you want to achieve. And I'm actively involved in various meetings and councils here and dean searches, and that remains true today. So that was a big part of my life. Now to the personal part. My junior year, I was in that building over there, what was then the Rathskeller, and I looked across the room, and I saw this woman who became the most, the most important woman in my life. I met my wife here. So now a little bit more destiny. So I met my wife. During that time period, I gained a friend for life. It started in my sophomore year, Father Joseph Levesque. So that led to where should we get married? So when we got married in the chapel here at Niagara University. Father Levesque did our ceremony. And we continued our freshman. Then he went away for a while, and luckily when he came back, we found each other again and renewed the friendship. And we moved on from there, and he asked me to get involved. I got involved with things, and I've been term limited out of things about 5 times here because you can't get rid of me, because I love to help. Whatever, I told Father Meyer, whatever you need, just ask me. I will do my best to help you. So I was married here. I have 3 children. My oldest daughter decided she wanted to be a special education teacher. If you want to stay close to home, Western New York, you want to become a special education teacher, where are you going to go? Niagara University. Now, I knew my daughter was too much of an entrepreneur, so that didn't last beyond freshman year. But she's become a successful businesswoman. My middle child did an internship here during the summer. She went to another university. My son graduated from here. He had at least 5 colleges going after him athletically for track and football. And we were waiting a decision, and he wasn't deciding where he was going to go. Finally, I remember it was like May 15th, and I said, technically, all your offers can be taken off the table now. Not that I don't want to pay for your education, but that scholarship money helps. And he said, okay, I'll let you know tomorrow. And he came back, and I was expecting to hear Penn State or St. John Fisher, one of those, and he says, I'm going to Niagara. Why? Because your mother and father? No. Why? Because I feel comfortable there. So he graduated from here, he stayed here for his master's, and now he's at a company working as a marketing director who eventually wanted to make him an owner. So he's achieving a life dream. And the story I'll leave you with is the most important one in my life. I mentioned my middle child, who became seriously ill, very seriously ill. And it was at the same time, my family had been closed out of 2 parishes because the diocese was going through their consolidation. So we were a family without a parish. A family was always very close to their parish priest. So we got my daughter to the hospital, and we come to find out she was within 24 hours of death. And spiritually, we had no place to turn. So I called my friend, and he turned on to Vincenzo Community, to the prayers. And I know my time's up, so I'll just say that daughter today is now in her 4th year, becoming a PhD, and she has the top research facilities in the U.S. after her when she's done with her doctorate work in cancer research. So I have an awful lot. I can't ever possibly repay Niagara for everything it's given me. Thank you.
Rocco is humble. He is a partner at the Bonadio Group, which is one of the top accounting consulting firms in the region. He didn't mention that, but that's what the power of Niagara University education can do for you. And the stories he told go beyond that, obviously, but the professional success that comes with it. So thanks for being with us today. Somebody who will be up here and doing this speech in, 10, 15, 20 years, but is currently a student in our education department. It is my pleasure to introduce Carrie Winston to offer you some words. You heard from a former student. Now we're going to hear from a current student.
As stated, my name is Carrie Winston. I'm a graduate student here in Niagara in the Clinical Mental Health Counseling Program. I just completed my first semester at Niagara. In this short time, I have seen firsthand the strength of Niagara's academics and experienced a campus environment that creates the conditions for students to excel. Niagara has helped me to realize my potential and position me for future success. I am pleased to have the opportunity to share a few of my reflections on how Niagara lives the ambitious commitments made in our new strategic plan. Being accepted into Niagara University's clinical mental health counseling program has been a rewarding experience thus far. Coming from the inner city of Chicago, one of the biggest decisions of my life was making that leap toward getting a master's degree. From the beginning, the faculty members in this program have provided me with support and guidance throughout this entire transition. After traveling over 500 miles to attend Niagara, the professors and my peers have opened their arms to me. One of the biggest reasons behind why I chose this program was due to the class size, which cultivates an active learning environment and close interactions between students and professors. It is a great feeling going to class and knowing that your professor and your peers know your name and are willing to work with you and support you. They have been a fundamental key for me in obtaining a 4.0 GPA in my first semester. Academic success begins in the classroom and in partnerships with faculty, but continues at Niagara through opportunities for campus engagement that bridges academics and campus life. Being a graduate resident director in the Office of Residence Life and living on campus have granted me the opportunity to form interactions with faculty, staff, administrators, and students. Working in this position has allowed me to give back the knowledge and experience that I received as an undergraduate to the students here at NU. My role as a graduate resident director has allowed me the out-of-class experience I need to set myself up for the future. I am able to put into practice through real-world situations what I learned in the classroom as I serve as a resource for students' mental health, academia, and professional needs. I also serve as an advisor to the Residence Hall Association, and this has provided me the opportunity to work hand in hand with many of the students at Niagara and obtain the knowledge and appreciation of how living on campus impacts undergraduate student success. Through my experience here at NU, I've also seen the commitment that Niagara makes to supporting diversity and preparing students as global citizens. During my undergraduate career at another institution, it was challenging for me to obtain the support and encouragement that I needed. However, comparing NU to my previous institution, NU has shown me how exceptionally supportive this campus is and how far many of the individuals here are willing to go to support their students. I have found that extra support within the Office of Multicultural Affairs and know that having this care outside of my graduate assistantship and classwork has played a huge factor in my success thus far at Niagara. In closing, I will simply say that Niagara is positioned well to achieve the promises and goals of our new strategic plan. Through the commitment that NU makes to academics, the students, and the broader local and global communities, NU knows what must be done and is prepared to accomplish it. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, Carrie, for being with us, and that congratulations on the 4.0. Keep that going. That's outstanding. We do have a number of community partners with us today, and we're going to hear from a couple. First up, it is our great pleasure to welcome one of our partners and one of the keys to the Western New York and the Niagara Falls and Niagara community region. Please welcome Faisal Marani from the Marani Hotel Group.
Hello, as Tom mentioned, my name is Faisal Marani. I'm up here today not speaking as a student, present or past, but as a partner of Niagara University and someone who hopes to build an even stronger partnership with Niagara University in the future. I could speak as someone who owns properties on the Canadian and the American side of the border in Niagara Falls right now. One of the objectives of Niagara University going forward is building a binational university, an education program where people can cross the border and from Canada into the Niagara U and get an education. My organization has been doing business over here for about 10 years now, and I can't stress how important Niagara U students have been to us. Part of the executive team we have are built with Niagara University graduates who now cross the border every day, run hotels on both sides of the border every day, Right down to our line level staff. We have so many students of Niagara University who build a core of our staff every single year coming back. And to create more opportunities between the two countries is so important. You know, we do have that big border in between Niagara Falls, Canada, Niagara Falls, U.S., Western New York, and the GTA. But at the end of the day, you can't speak with anybody who doesn't cross the border, doesn't have a story on a daily basis, whether it's to come across to the U.S. for, the better pizza and wings, or to go into Canada to get those ketchup chips that you can't seem to find over here. It really is just a community, the Greater Toronto area, and well as Western New York. Being able to build upon that with Niagara University, with Niagara College, being able to have people come over here, get their masters, and expand their horizons. They say that travel is such a big educator of young people, and being able to experience, while close communities, still two different cultures, is so important for the young people. It's not just about classrooms, it is about experiences, and it can only get better when you make that circle bigger, who you're drawing from. Being able to have Niagara University work more in the Canadian market opens up so many doors for the university. It's not just the person born in Canada who wants to come to the U.S., but with Toronto being such a hub for immigration, a big cultural hub, it makes it a bigger international splash for the university. That's just going to continue to keep to grow. The hospitality program, of course, is near and dear to my heart, since we do own hotels on both sides of the border. I can only say that I really appreciate the time that you let me speak up here today, and everything Niagara University has already done. Really hope to continue being a partner, and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Faisal, for being with us and for everything you do here in the Western New York community. I mentioned earlier that 97% of our recent graduates are working or enrolled in graduate school. We have great partnerships with employers throughout the region. One of our great partners is from Ingram Micro. It's my pleasure to introduce Jeff Streb, who's the Senior Director of Human Resources at Ingram Micro.
Thank you, Tom. I'm glad you didn't introduce me as the person who wished I was a former student here. If I had to do it over again, I probably would have made a different choice. But I am honored. I'm so honored and pleased to have the opportunity to say a few words about the partnership Ingram Micro and Niagara University have nurtured over the past decade, as well as share my enthusiasm about the institution's new strategic plan. Being a service-based business, Ingram Micro's employees are our greatest source of competitive differentiation. As a large, growing organization, we're constantly searching for exceptional talent who share our values and seeking those who stand out with the potential to become our next generation of leaders. Niagara University's strong reputation for not only educating, but thoroughly preparing students for the challenges they'll face in the global workplace is what led us to increase our engagement with Niagara University. While that reputation may be what brought us to the door, our partnerships with Niagara have demonstrated time and time again the compatibility of our philosophies, values, and missions, and the positive impact this partnership has on our business. One of Ingram Micro's core values is corporate social responsibility, which commits that we'll give back to the communities and globally and locally in which we operate. One of Niagara's key assets is its strong Vincentian mission and an ability to know and help each other as human persons. This strong alignment is personified by the dozens of Niagara University alumni who every day serve Ingram Micro's partners and our communities. Our partnership with Niagara has been a key enabler to our achieving our mission, and we look forward to continuing our enthusiastic support of Niagara University's strategic plans now and in the future in the true spirit of partnership. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Thanks for being with us. Jeff and Faisal, our graduate people, will be talking to you soon. So you can be former students at some point if you'd like. We can get you a master's degree. That sounds like a good plan, right? Or another master's degree. It is our pleasure, too, to welcome a great educator, past president of New York State TESOL, Ann Henry. Ann?
I was not born in Ann Henry. I actually was born as Nguyen Tuyết Ngọc, And in 1984, when I came to the U.S., I was essentially, our family was the only family in the entire school district who was not white. And so I wish I had $1 at the time to bet every time I walk into the room that I was the only Asian. I would probably be a very rich woman today, but I didn't know about gambling back then. But thankfully, I'm happy to say that we in Western New York have become more diverse. I'm happy to say that because some of you may not realize that we in Western New York is a designated federal resettlement center. So therefore, we receive a lot of immigrant families. And when families arrive, they send their kids to school. And one of the biggest school districts in Western New York that receive these children is Buffalo. And I am a school administrator, a district level administrator in Buffalo public schools. And so one thing that we see when I first started teaching back in 2000, we had about, several hundred kids. And then I left and I came back as a teacher supervisor. And by 2009, we had over 1,000 kids, about 1,200 kids. And then by 2013, we had over 4,000 kids. That's a huge increase in such a short amount of time. And the last time I looked, we have about a little bit more than 5,000 kids. So as these kids were starting to arrive into our school district, teachers and administrators were starting to recognize that we were not prepared to teach these children. And when I went to school to get my master's in TESOL, UB was really the only game in town. And I am also happy to say that that is no longer the case. And NU, Niagara University, is one of the leaders in preparing our teachers, not only those students who want to go into teaching, but those who are already in the classrooms, and to build their toolkit so that they can better address the needs of English language learners. And so with NU, and also since I am a school administrator, I spoke a lot about my experience in the district, but also as a immediate past president, yay, no more work, or less work, I should say. I see a lot of things across the state, and there are many, many wonderful things that are happening, but there are also many areas where institutions of higher education struggle. And I have to say, both as a transition facilitator, that's a big title for me in Buffalo. It also means jack of all trades, anything that needs to be done and does it. As well as immediate past president of the New York State Association for Bilingual Education and TESOL, I would like to say that we are very lucky in Western New York to have Niagara University, a leader like Niagara University, with the foresight to think about the diversity that we currently are experiencing, as well as the future, because by some projections, some statistics say that by 2030, 1 out of every student will be an English language learner. And Niagara University is doing that to address the needs that we anticipate in coming to this area. So congratulations, Father Mar, for your strategic plan, and I hope that you and the Niagara University community much success.
Our next speaker, a wonderful student in our Arts and Sciences Department in the School of Nursing. Please welcome Maria Pedini. Maria?
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Maria Pedini, and I am a junior studying psychology here at Niagara. I am pleased to have the opportunity to share a few of the ways that I have experienced the excellence of Niagara University, confirming the strong foundation on which we have built our new strategic plan. As an incoming freshman, I was completely unsure of what I wanted my major to be. Thanks to the academic exploration program at NU, I was able to test out different potential majors by taking a variety of classes such as political science and education, which actually gave me the opportunity to go to a first grade classroom to observe. Since NU was a liberal arts school, I was able to get acquainted with different academic areas and not fall behind my peers, even the ones who came to Niagara knowing what they wanted to do with their professional lives. After exploring my options through AEP, I decided on psychology for my major, and I declared at the end of my sophomore year. I grew an amazing attachment and bond with my AEP advisor, Carolyn Mackey, as she helped by leading me step by step and gradually made me more independent. Carolyn's help, guidance, and planning showed me the true meaning of student care here at Niagara. Through some high school transfer credits, summer and winter classes, and the incredible advisement of Carolyn, I'm actually able to graduate an entire year early. I am also proud to have recently been accepted into the accelerated nursing program here at NU. That program begins just a couple weeks after graduation. This is an amazing opportunity for students who were initially unsure of their majors but want to pursue this in-demand field. Although I'm very open-minded, I someday hope to have a career that allows me to integrate my two primary areas of study, psychology and nursing, and I'm considering psychiatric nursing. This goal would not be feasible if it were not for NU. At Niagara, I have also had numerous opportunities for engagement in campus life outside of the classroom. I have been a community advisor in residence life on campus for 2 years now, and I currently serve as a CA in Clay Hall. This has given me the opportunity to make connections with diverse students and perspectives on campus and helped build my leadership skills. This job also allows me to be involved with students on campus and to assist their living experience in any way I can, which has been extremely rewarding to me. In addition, I have been on NU's club softball team for 3 years, and I am the vice president currently. This position allows me to make some collaborative and executive decisions for the benefit of the club. This club helps our group of girls bond over a sport that we love and have fun doing, which enhances our overall experience at NU. Having benefited from the advice and direction of those who came before me, I've been privileged to serve as a peer mentor for the past 2 years for the NU Beginnings class, which is similar to a freshman seminar class. Peer mentors are similar to a teacher's assistant, so our job is to help freshman students feel comfortable and respond to any questions that they might be hesitant to ask the professor. This really makes me feel bonded to the freshmen and hopefully makes their intimidating freshman experience a little more comfortable and relaxing. NU offers students the opportunity to gain real-world experience and grow personally and professionally through unique involvement opportunities. I am a member of the University Budget Board, which gives me the opportunity to be a part of a group that discusses budget requests for various proposals to enhance the campus. This board has really enlightened me to all that goes into what makes this campus and how changes can be made. The UBB informs me of the behind-the-scenes aspects of developments and renovations, which has been extremely informative and makes me consider aspects of a university that I would have never imagined. And I feel truly honored to be part of such an intelligent group of members. Finally, Niagara has deepened my commitment to serving those in need. I grew up in a religious household, and serving others has always been a value of mine. And throughout my life, I have been involved in service projects and opportunities, and I knew when I was researching colleges that service was a critical factor. This Vincentian University stands for things that I'm very passionate about, which not only made NU stand out for me, but made it an easy decision to come here. As a Catholic, I'm very proud to say that I attend Niagara University. I'm very excited to know that I will be able to experience Niagara's new strategic plan in action during my remaining time as a student. I look forward to contributing to Niagara's future success and benefiting from the bold goals of this strategic plan. Thank you.
We've heard from our speakers who've talked about our academic excellence, who've talked about service, who've talked about binational and international, and the plan going forward. It's wonderful to have them with us. A key piece of the academic piece, of course, is our faculty. A number of them are here today. How about a round of applause for the Niagara University faculty in the room today? One other welcome that we have is another member of our Board of Advisors who serves with Rocco is Dr. Patrick Seuss, who's over here in the front. Patrick, thank you for being with us today. It is my pleasure to once again introduce the Reverend James Marr for his closing remarks today.
Thank you, Tom. As we begin to close, I just ask our faculty to please stand. Thank you, and thank you for all that you do. I share that simply because at the heart of our plan, the beating heart of our plan, is academic excellence. And that's why the students come to us. They come for an education. And that the first wave of people that they meet with and they interact with regularly are the faculty. And so academic excellence is the core of who we are and what we do and what we will do in an elevated way as we go forward. What are the signs of that? As was said in the video and shared, 75% of our students have internships at Niagara University. Our goal is to be able to say that any student, 100%, who wants an internship at Niagara University will get that internship. That's what we seek to reach for. That close to 50% of our undergraduate students have the opportunity to do research with a faculty member, close to 25% higher than the national average. As it was said by Tom Burns, 97% of our students 6 months beyond graduation are in graduate school and or working. Our economic contribution to the region of Western New York beyond is $227 million. That's the core of who we are and what we seek to do. The young people who graduate from us go out and they make an incredible impact in the workplace. Good jobs that focus them, that create a career pathway, and create a pathway so that they are living, learning examples of people in the community, contributing to the spiritual, the social, the economic, and the personal development of people in our communities. This is our plan. This is what we seek to do in an even greater, deeper, and more expansive way. But the plan really depends on you, our partners, our employees, our alumni, our community. St. Vincent was known not only as a great builder, but an even greater collaborator. That he brought people together from every way, walk of life in innovative, entrepreneurial ways to be able to create lasting and sustainable impact in his community. That's at the heart of our plan. So today is really the beginning, not the end, for you and me to work together to join us and embrace what must be done, so that we might look out 5 years from now at the conclusion of this plan and say, what must be done has been done. Thank you, and God bless you.